All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Houston Rockets Daily, where we post daily Houston Rockets content. So if you enjoy this video and that's something you're looking for, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I hope you guys enjoyed last night's game. I know I sure did. Making last night's recap certainly was fun. Kevin Porter Jr., different breed. Keep in mind, man, this whole video is going to be based around Kevin. Literally 1 week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, we had various people from the Rockets fan base, a ton of outside media saying, cut the man, just cut him, eat the $5 million remaining left on his salary for this season and for next season. We got him for a bag of chips, you know, it was a risk anyways, blah, 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 blah. Kevin Porter Jr., let me say this. You don't get high praise from guys like LeBron James, Bradley Beal, Damian Lillard, if you are not talented. So whenever I'd like hop on Twitter, you know, read like a YouTube comment or a Facebook post where these people wanted Kevin Porter Jr. to literally just be cut from the team because of one incident that we didn't even know the whole story. I mean, honestly, at this point, it seems as if Kevin was told he wasn't going to be playing in the second quarter, was still in the locker room, and then left like later on in the game. And when he figured out that was a problem, you know, he called, made it, you know, apologized, you know, made up for whatever he did. And it seemed like no one on the Houston Rockets like really had a problem with that. I think Kevin is, you know, given the fact that he's still 21 years old, I mean, this man's just kind of learning. He's not only navigating through life, but he's navigating through the NBA. And so I saw this tweet from Clutch Fans where he said Kevin Porter Jr. was struggling badly on the court, even disabled his Twitter account. And since then, 18 points per game, 6.3 assists, 50% from the field, 44% from downtown. He's hit a lot of big, important shots late in the basketball games, and the Rockets have now won 3 out of their last 4 games on the road. So that was actually like the Rockets' biggest issue before like 2 weeks ago, was that they had like 2 or 3 road wins, or maybe I think it was still 2 road wins. So Kevin, and we've been preaching this on this channel all year, this dude has never played point guard in his life. He played 21 games for the Houston Rockets last season, sharing the court with John Wall for some of them. Wasn't even like the true point guard in a couple of those games. Wasn't even halfway to the season when the whole incident happened, and there were people who like genuinely wanted Kevin Porter Jr. on. And I think he has like quite well silenced his haters with the buzzer beater against the Washington Wizards on the road, and then the buzzer beater last night against the Utah Jazz. Or maybe it wasn't a buzzer beater, but it was the go-ahead dagger 3. I mean, it ended the game. I think the Rockets were up 2 points. So Jazz get a stop. They're going to go probably shoot a 3. Luckily, the Jazz were without Donovan Mitchell, but really like my whole thing with Kevin Porter Jr. is he's playing a new position. Even if he wasn't playing a new position, this is a guy who barely played last season. He's in his 3rd NBA year, so he's like 2.5 seasons in. He's only played like 2 seasons if you add it all up together, less than 2 seasons if you add it all together. And he's going to make mistakes. This whole Houston Rockets team makes a ton of mistakes. There are nights literally where the Rockets have 24 turnovers. And I will say my biggest 2 critiques, the things that I was keeping my eye out on for Kevin entering this season, was 3-point efficiency, because he shot horribly from downtown last year. But there were games where he'd go like 5 of 7 from downtown, 4 of 6 from downtown. Like, you know, Kevin can shoot the 3. He's just got to learn when to take those threes as a point guard. And last night, I really loved what I saw, especially in that first quarter and fourth quarter, obviously, but particularly in that first quarter. Scores 6 points, has 6 assists, and 0 turnovers. Now, I know you'd like to see kind of, you know, the assist total be more than, 7 or 8 last night. But with Kevin right now, I want to see at least like 3 quarters of good basketball play, because he's only improving. He's only improving. So recently, this past season, I feel like maybe you'd see 1 quarter of Kevin Porter Jr. playing good and efficient, maybe 2 quarters of Kevin. Now we're starting to see 3, and kind of even like the whole game of Kevin playing good. So the 44.4% from downtown, to me, that's really reassuring. Obviously, the turnovers, you know, you would like to see that kind of start to decline. as the season goes on. But for the most part, I mean, Kevin Porter Jr., he's looking like our dude. He's looking like our dude. He's certainly not afraid of that moment. And let's say the Rockets somehow, some way stumbled upon a point guard. Like, maybe they get, a star from the draft, or maybe they get, even some, I'm not saying De'Aaron Fox, but say you get a player like De'Aaron Fox capabilities. The best part about Kevin is he can play the small forward. He can play the shooting guard. He can play a bunch of different positions and still be a vocal point in the offense. So even worst case scenario, if he wasn't the Rockets' long-term point guard, let's say he were to collapse the rest of this year playing the point guard position, it doesn't mean he's a bad player. So this dude has literally yet to play an entire season at a new position, and we had all these people writing him off. No one really on this channel. You guys are all awesome, diehard Rocket fans, but there were some randos on Twitter who really wanted Kevin Porter Jr. cut, waived, and the Rockets to just eat that salary because it was only $5 million. We only gave up a 7th grade second round pick, whatever. But I'm loving what I'm seeing from Kevin. So that's it for today, guys. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button, hit that sub as always, and I'll see you guys later.